Glass is the final movie in the Unbreakable / Split trilogy. It stars James McAvoy, Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Cinematography is by GIOULAKIS and music is by Wes Dillon Thordson. Glass is written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, the man who brought us The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable and Signs. What's the story? Glass follows on from where Split left off. James McAvoy is still on the loose with his multiple personalities, and this time he has kidnapped 4 cheerleaders. Hoping to catch McAvoy before he turns into the beast and eats the girls is David Dunn, played by Bruce Willis. David and his son, Joseph, played by Spencer Treat Clark, have set up a home security company. Joseph acts as David's tech guy, while David patrols the streets as the overseer. David guesses that the girls are being kept in an abandoned building downtown. He starts to roam the streets and accidentally, on purpose, bumps into people so that he can see their crimes. It isn't too long before David bumps into McAvoy and ends up at the factory where the girls are kept. David frees the girls, but McAvoy arrives and turns into the beast. A fight ensues, and it looks like the pair are evenly matched. The fight is taken outside, but the police are waiting for them. Instead of going to jail, the couple are whisked off to a psychiatric facility. Sarah Paulson plays Dr. Ellie Staple. It's her job to convince David and McAvoy that they are not superheroes, but just ordinary people. Also resident at the facility is Elijah Price, played by Samuel L. Jackson. Unfortunately, Elijah has very little to add to the commentary because he is stuck in a wheelchair and drugged up to his eyeballs. However, he does seem to be able to get out of his room a lot, which is curious. Despite her best efforts, Dr. Staple cannot convince her patients, David's son, Elijah's mother, or Casey Cook, the surviving girl hostage from Split, played by Anna Taylor-Joy, that her patients are not superheroes. Because of this, Dr. Staple decides to lobotomise Elijah. However, Elijah has been playing everybody for a fool. He has not been drugged up to the eyeballs at all, and he's been planning his escape all along. He fixes the lobotomy machine so that it has no effect on him. He kills a guard and then recruits McAvoy in his escape attempt. Elijah's mission is the same as it always has been. He wants to show the world that comic books were documenting history when they refer to superheroes and supervillains. He invites David to a showdown in front of the world's media on top of the newly opened Osaka Tower. However, the furthest anyone gets is the parking lot. David escapes his cell and tackles the beast outside. During the fight, Joseph reveals the first twist. McAvoy's father died in the train crash that Elijah caused in the movie Unbreakable. This revelation causes McAvoy to fatally wound Elijah. Casey arrives and manages to calm McAvoy down, and then he is shot and killed by the police for no good reason. The police next execute David by drowning him in a puddle, but not before Dr. Staple reveals that she and the police are part of an organisation that aims to keep superheroes and supervillains a secret. The final twist is provided by Elijah. Before he escaped the psychiatric facility, he set up live feeds from the facility's cameras and sent them to the internet. In one of the final scenes, Joseph, Casey and Elijah's mother sit in a train station and watch random people react to these videos on their news feeds. Issues. The most obvious issue was with the no-show of the Osaka Tower. It was referred to in several places during the movie, and yet this was never paid off. I understand that it was supposed to be a misdirect, yet it felt more like a letdown. It's almost as if the producers ran out of money and then decided to finish the movie in the parking lot out of convenience. There was a strange difference in the way that David and McAvoy's characters were treated. David, the vigilante/good guy, was put in chains and had a steel door in his cell, yet McAvoy, the psycho killer, had no chains and was given a cell with just a wooden door. It obviously should have been the other way around. Bearing in mind McAvoy was a psycho killer, the staff at the facility seemed to have very little concern for their own safety. They would happily enter his cell, chat and even flirt with him. Surely such a dangerous patient would have his meals fed through an opening in the wall. After all McAvoy needed to do to avoid the strobe lights was to close his eyes. How exactly did Elijah get out of his cell? This is never explained. Dr. Staple's secret organisation had no purpose. I can understand an organisation wanting to take advantage of and use superheroes and supervillains for their own gain, but what is the point of an organisation that just wants to keep them a secret? If they intended to lobotomise Elijah and then kill David and McAvoy anyway, why bother to go through any of the psychiatric treatment in the first place? They would save themselves a lot of time and trouble by killing them all straight away. And why doesn't the secret organisation hold their meetings in a secure location instead of booking out a public restaurant and then waiting for everyone else to leave? There were several twists in this movie, but I think the greatest twist would have been if David Dunn and Elijah were just more of McAvoy's multiple personalities. This would have been far more fulfilling than watching David drown in a puddle. What a disappointing way for a superhero to die. Shyamalan's cameo came too early for me. I think it would have been more appropriate for him to appear as one of the geeks in the comic store. Review. While Glass had all the ingredients for a great movie, I think the director overcooked it. Ultimately, we ended up with something that was unfulfilling. Technically the movie was fine. I liked the way the individual scenes were directed, I liked the music, but sometimes I thought the cinematography was off. Too many extreme close-ups. McAvoy shines in his many roles, just as he did in Split, and his relationship with Casey, played by Anna Taylor-Joy, was also interesting and tender. Apart from this, the rest of the movie coasts by on nostalgia. We remember how good Unbreakable was, and we are so delighted to see the same characters again that we fail to see that this movie is not on the same par. Great acting performances aside, Glass is a disappointing conclusion to the Unbreakable/Split trilogy. My rating, 71%. Hi, this is Mike Kendall, and thanks for watching my video. I'd like to know what you thought of this movie. Was it a hit? Was it a flop? Let me know your thoughts and rating in the comments section. You can also tell me what other movies you'd like to see reviews for. Please like and subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell for all my new videos. Sharing these videos on Facebook and Twitter would help me out a lot. I'd sure appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the other videos on my channel. We're adding more all the time. I'm off to see a movie. You have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.